How are you doing? My name is Rohit and I'll be breaking down the 7th match of this year's IPL, which saw the Chennai Super Kings take on the Gujarat Titans in the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai. As always, let's start with the end result of the match, which saw the Chennai Super Kings beating the Gujarat Titans by 63 runs. And this is the first time in the Gujarat Titans franchise history that they've lost a match by 50 runs or more. So that should kind of tell you an idea of how good this franchise has been over their first 2 years, if this is the first time that they're losing by such a margin. That little trivia piece aside, Gujarat won the toss and elected to field, so Chennai was put into bat. And from start to finish, Chennai was at 10 runs and over or more, and obviously they finished with 206 for 6, which is a mammoth total, because this is a Chennai pitch that in most years has been known to be relatively lower scoring. Usually the par score historically has been around 150, 160. And last year, we saw an uptick in scoring in Chepak, the average score being 170. This year, the first match had RCB scoring 173, around that mark. And now, in this match, Chennai bats first and they put up 206. So we've seen a massive uptick in scoring in Chepak, showing that this pitch is a really good batting pitch if you know how to apply yourself. And that showed in CSK's innings today. From start to finish, over 10 runs and over. There was no massive acceleration or any sort of letdown where it felt like CSK was struggling for runs. They were consistent throughout, no big acceleration, no big slowdown, and that really showed in their approach as well. They had 3 players score over 40 runs. Ruturaj Gaikwad with 46 from 36. He did get a reprieve, actually, when he was dropped on 1 in the first over. So that goes to show just how one single point in a match can change your fortunes entirely. Who knows what would have happened if the Gujarat fielders make that catch in that first over. Maybe that changed the entire approach of CSK's batting for the rest of the innings. Rachin Ravindra does what he does and what he has done in the first match, and also what he does in international cricket, which is give his teams fast, strong starts when he opens the batting. He did so again. 46 from just 20 balls, all within the power play, taking on a Gujarat bowling lineup that has historically been one of the better bowling lineups in the power play. And when you do that, that sets a tone for the rest of your innings. When you say, hey, we have a lot of runs in the power play, we're in a pretty good situation, we can just go. You don't need to worry about, hey, I need to settle down, I need to stem the bleeding, I need to make sure that I stay at the crease so we don't lose more wickets. When you have that sort of freedom when you're batting, it allows you to be more confident, it allows you to be yourself as a batter. And then Shivam Dubey, 51 from 23, which also netted him the Player of the Match award. And so you have 3 players scoring over 40, and you're scoring 206. So that's a very good sign. Typically, when you see a score above 190, above 200, it's usually one player who dominates the scorecard with some 80 or 90, and then everybody else around him scores around 10 to 15 to 20. No, this time you have 4 players scoring over 40, with one of them scoring 50. So when your highest score is 50 and you score 200, that is a good overall batting effort. And Samir Rizvi impressed on his debut, 14 from 6. So happy for him. Congratulations to him on finally making his batting debut in an IPL match. And for the Gujarat bowling, it was a struggle throughout. Nobody really got going. Nobody really truly showed up in the bowling attack. They only had one bowler who had an economy of less than 9. I mean, obviously, that's to be expected when you have a run total over 10s. Now, getting into the Gujarat batting innings as they try to chase down this 206, it was a struggle from the beginning. What happened to them did not happen to CSK when they were batting, which is losing wickets. They lost 2 in the power play, so that already sets you back massively when chasing a large total. Sai Sudarshan did do his best to steady the ship, 37 from 31, but nobody else around him got going, and everybody just struggled overall. That has a lot to do with run rate pressure, because unlike CSK, who were at 10s throughout, Gujarat never even got to the required run rate to just keep pace. They were behind from the start, and as the run rate keeps creeping up, as in you need to score this many runs per over to at least maintain a pace, you are in trouble. And Gujarat was in trouble from the beginning. They never at any point during the match had a run rate over 10. They were always hovering around that 8, 9 mark. And then as they kept losing more wickets, that number started dropping towards 7. And it shows in the margin of victory for Chennai. And this was a grouped effort in the bowling for Chennai as well. They had 3 bowlers take 2 wickets: Deepak Chahar, Tushar Deshpande, and Mustafizur Rahman. So when you have 3 bowlers taking 2 wickets, that's huge. That's a very balanced bowling attack, and that's a positive for CSK that they have multiple wicket-taking options. They're not reliant on one bowler to take wickets. And for Gujarat, honestly, their positive should be their resilience in their bowling attack, because they actually bowled really well. It's just that there were some fielding lapses that caused them to fall behind early. Catches win matches, and that showed. CSK was brilliant in the field, taking really, really nice catches. One of the more memorable ones was MS Dhoni's flying catch behind the stumps. So that goes to show just how important fielding is in T20 cricket especially. And that was the main difference between the two sides today. Because if CSK drops those catches, maybe that gives Gujarat a spark. Maybe they can go on to score a bigger total, maybe even win the game. Maybe if Gujarat makes their catches, they're chasing a lower total. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. All it came down to was a total team effort from CSK. And the main difference between the two teams almost basically ended up being fielding. And sometimes that's just how it goes in T20 cricket. So with that, as usual, please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. And with that, I'll see you next time for the next matchup. Thank you. Have a good one.